Well, I'm here at Cap's Pizza for Indian River Connections, connecting people and places. We're going to do our first maiden voyage here. I'm here with John from Caps,
John.
and then John from TGI Now podcast, and
Joann from Binford Chronicles.
and then we got Mike behind the camera from
Thank
To the
you,
Point
Mike.
To the Point podcast. So it's a collaboration between the three podcasts. This is what we're trying to do, is just bring people and places together. And so what a better place to start than Cap's Pizza.
Ground zero,
Ground zero. So thanks for coming, John.
Yes,
thanks
sir.
for
Thanks for
having us here, actually.
Absolutely.
We wanted to kind of talk about like the history of the shop. You know, obviously, you know, when it started, you know, how it got here, you know, what your dad did and all that good stuff. So give us a little rundown.
So, mom, dad, my sister, myself, took a trip down 95 in 86 to Vero Beach,
Nice.
and they started Caps up.
Wow.
The original one was over at where the new Cumberland Farms is on 27th
At 5
Yep.
and Oslo.
in Oslo,
Yep,
right here,
yep.
right pitching wedge down the street.
Yeah, I remember it. Yep.
And there was nothing in the area. There was no Winn-Dixie Plaza. There was no 7-Eleven. There was nothing. It was just us, and
Us in the community.
here we are, still.
Yeah,
working.
it's still here since 1987. You opened it, and like we always say, you know, knocking out pizza since 1987. So we always said it on the podcast.
Yep.
But really, I mean, the main thing I think that you bring to the table and what your dad started, the legacy that he did was like a family tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like the atmosphere here is not like any other place in town.
it's unique. It's for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's different in the fact that, you know, you can bring your kids here. You do the during the pandemic, you did the pizza kits
We
for the
did
kids.
pizza kits for kids to keep them busy.
Yep,
4 kids were home.
yep,
Parents didn't know what to do, and
That was a great
try to keep
idea.
them busy.
That
yeah,
was a really good idea.
yeah.
No,
I thought
it worked out
awesome.
well.
Yeah, it worked
Kids
out really
liked
well.
it.
The kids
Parents
loved
got
it.
de-stressed for a little bit. Let
Yep.
the kids
Make
tear apart the kitchen. Keep them busy.
have some fun. Yeah, yeah. And then, so I mean, you know, being a family tradition in the community, also giving back.
Yeah.
Because you get what you give, and I think that's what your dad started, that legacy when he first started.
They've always done it. My
Yeah.
parents, my sister, myself, and my wife now, Jess.
Yeah,
We try to keep it going. You know, we're a small town, and you know, we can do only so much, but we try to do as much as we can do
yeah,
to give back, because we would never be where we were if we weren't community minded like
Exactly.
that.
Right.
And you know, we have kids, and we try to instill to them the same thing that was instilled to my sister and I and my wife. It's you got to give to get. You
Yeah.
got to, you know, to receive. You have to give,
yeah,
and we try to do that on a weekly basis
yeah.
with the community, with the kids,
Yeah.
schools, and it's what, you know, we've always done it.
You did.
Yeah.
You had, because you had the schools in here the other day. You said you.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had some local baseball teams finishing up their season
Nice.
with schools, and they look to us.
Yeah.
We have a side room here where we can, you know, house 25 to 30 people comfortably, and the kids can come in their cleats, and you don't got to worry about being all proper, and
Right.
they can get loud, and that's always kind of been what Caps is. It's just a place where you can go and you can relax, and you don't have to worry about your kids running around or
Yep.
being judged.
Yep.
Kids bring it to home,
Yeah.
you know, because
Yeah.
it's like family, and to hear
Yeah.
the laughter of the kids.
Hell, we have them in the back sometimes making pizza with us, and
I love
keep it fun.
Yeah.
Keep it real.
Keep it fun. Yeah.
Yep.
What were some of the things your dad did in the community in the very beginning? I remember you told some stories on the TGI Now
Sure.
podcast about that.
He and my mom both, you know, between my sister and I being in school, they were constantly, you know, giving back to the schools and,
Yeah.
you know, sponsoring local sports
Yeah.
with recreation departments and other organizations in town. Always, like, everybody was an arm's length away,
Yeah.
and just gave back to everybody. It was important to him.
Yeah.
It wasn't about just taking care of his family. It was
Yeah.
always about taking care of, like,
Well, his
community.
customers were
and
like
customers,
family.
yeah.
Like when I met your dad when we moved here in 2004, we were looking for a pizzeria that was like a home pizzeria, you know, something that we felt comfortable with. And we met your dad, and he just was so personal, talked to us.
He's
listened
out.
to
He's
us.
out here.
you know?
He's out sitting with you,
Yep.
and that's always how it's been. It's
Yeah.
nobody's. It's not. He doesn't look. We've never looked. Myself, my sister, my wife. My mom, my dad, it wasn't like you were a paycheck.
Right.
It wasn't. It was more than that. Everybody's identifiable. Even all of our employees here, there's a connection between everybody that's out here and everybody that's in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's an open kitchen, obviously, and it's just a very comfortable place to bring your family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so let's go back to your dad for a second. And so your dad, he had a career of boxing. So he did, he was a pro boxer, light heavyweight division, 21-5 record, ranked top light heavyweight in the 70s.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he and my uncle, my grandfather, they were professional fighters. They were tied to a lot of big names in New York.
Yeah.
And, their roots are deep with boxing and training, and just again, giving back. They always did it. My grandfather did it with the Huntington Boys and Girls Club, where Huntington Boxing Club, where he worked with kids, and he brought a lot of them up to be champs.
Yeah.
My dad being one, my uncle.
Yeah. You could see the boxing, and we'll put some pictures up too for the folks watching. The Wall of Fame here at Caps. You can check it out. And one of the things we always say on the TGI Now podcast, with your dad, when Eddie would say, like, when I first moved here, he's like, your dad would go from table to table and tell boxing stories, kind of like Rocky did in the movie Rocky Balboa. So your dad started that way before Sylvester Stallone even thought about doing that.
He always say he needs his royalties from Rocky.
Right, it's true. I remember telling him one day, I was like, you must have been a really good boxer because you don't have cauliflower ears.
That's right.
That's too funny. Yeah.
Defense.
Yeah. But that made it unique, and I think the kids loved it. And like you said before, when he first started the restaurant next to Cumberland Farm, or at the Cumberland Farms Plaza on Oslo Road, which was the only thing out here. There was no social media. There was no internet. There was no emails. So
that's right.
So how did you guys get the word out?
It was about being social.
Yeah.
And that's what we kind of lost nowadays, is just getting out and talking to people. And it was never enough for just the door to open.
Yeah.
You had to go out and find it. And us as kids, we'd go door to door with my buddies, we'd get us a couple bucks and ride around our bikes and put stuff out there for people, and that's what we did as kids. But no, he was always very social, and everybody that works here is social.
Yeah,
with our customers and their kids. It's like we've seen generations come in here, which is, for me,
that's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, you gotta love
so
that.
Cool.
Yeah, you do see that. I see that when I come in here all the time. I see the kids that come in. I see the kids that come from the roller hockey. When my son played roller hockey, we came here after roller hockey on a Sunday. Right down the street, come from the rink and come and sit here and have some pizza and play Miss Pac-Man, the old machine that doesn't die.
Yeah, that's from branded, I think, in 81, and it's still
I love that. Sometimes I just purposely leave quarters there so the kids can come up and play.
Nostalgic.
It is,
and it's bulletproof.
It is. It is bulletproof. No, they don't know. It's bulletproof because I've played it many times.
I'll go back a little further back when we used to have the tabletop games. We had the basketball game with the spoon on it.
Oh yeah.
And ball would bounce into the wooden basketball hoop. Those were cool too.
That was cool too. Yeah. You got to keep it fun, and I think that's what you do here. You do keep it fun. You give back to the community. You do have a lot of customers that are always, a family tradition, so that it does feel like family, and the legacy that you're building and carrying on with you and your wife Jess, and of course your sister was a big part of it as well, and then your mom, and all the way back. So it's a beautiful thing to see that, and I think that people need to know more about it. And I think a lot of people got an opportunity to see that through the contest that was recently done on TC Palm recently. Was the best pizza on the Treasure Coast, and you were battling neck and neck. Tell us about the people that came in and spoke to you and all the camaraderie.
That was really cool.
Yeah,
I stumbled across it that we were in this thing.
Yeah.
It was, I think, week 1, and nobody reached out to me from TC Palm. We just found out that we were in it.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Really?
And it started, bracket similar to like March Madness with 16, and we're winning one in Vero, then we win another in Vero. Now we're out of Vero. Now we're in Fort Pierce, and we beat Fort Pierce, and we're moving forward, and I'm like, wow. And all of a sudden there's like this buzz around it, and people are calling in, which is cool for us because we're not downtown Vero, we're not Beachside, we're southwest side of Vero,
right?
Where everybody around here knows us on this side of town, and there's still some places in town that may have never been here, but we're getting calls from people in Stewart, Jensen, north of us.
Oh wow!
Well, where they're coming.
Cool.
Yeah, so the exposure was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
To be a part of that. That was cool.
Yeah, it was a good buzz, and I noticed a lot of people online. Obviously, with social media nowadays, it spread pretty quick, and people caught on to it. I had a lot of people texting me like, "How do I vote?"
Yep.
And then people were coming in, obviously trying the food. It wasn't just let me place my vote just because. I want to come in and try the food too. And
people were kind of vetting us to see what it was about. And, we did get people come in, and my wife, Jess, she was on like Google reviews, and somebody made mention that they were in recently. And I'm pretty sure that was one of the, a couple that had come in and called and, asked about what specials we had that night because they heard it from the TC Palm contest. So that was cool.
That's awesome.
That was fun.
And again, that creates another buzz, another group of people that will find out about you, and hopefully this video and Indian River Connections and moving forward will connect people with places.
That's what we can't thank you enough for that, and the opportunity to be a part of that contest for us.
Yeah,
I think collectively it got like over 40,000 clicks and views and exposure.
Easily.
Touch. So that was cool.
Yeah, and unfortunately you lost, but it was neck and neck until the end. So it was 50.8% to 49.2.
Yeah,
so
was close.
It was close.
Probably some of those votes where people didn't try your pizza because you were out of their town.
Out of their area.
That's
absolutely.
What it was. Same going both ways, but people probably said we need our town to win.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing about it is you can't. There's no that's what I'm looking for. You can't equate
can't put a price on it
that we had in this town for us to get that amount of click is wild.
Yeah, right.
It was wild, and unfortunately, it got to a point where people were able to vote one day, and then apparently they weren't able to vote.
Yeah, there was
which is kind of odd.
Yeah,
but.
A couple of glitches, but
we're not used to having a bullseye. We're used to having a bullseye on us.
And that's okay. That means you're doing everything right.
You had to have been feeling the love, Joe.
Oh my goodness, it was unbelievable. Everybody, you saw it online. People were coming in. We saw people over at the beach yesterday. They came up and was saying congratulations, everything.
Yeah.
So. We already got the crown.
Right?
That
I like that.
That's everything.
We already got the crown, 100%. Yeah, because like you said, you get what you give, and so it brings it into perspective. It brings it full circle. It shows that the community's supporting you.
It means more than a trophy to have that kind of support.
It makes that drive from I-95 down to New York when you were a kid well worth it.
My parents were.
I was going to ask you.
Ecstatic about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was cool. We had family, calling us about it, family in Illinois, New York, that were super supportive of it, and it means a lot.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, that's
fun. I could just see your parents following it like a football game.
Well, we go from to like the progression, right?
Yeah.
Of what it started and where it's at. It's
especially since you didn't even know that you were in the contest at first. You didn't even realize that you were even selected to be in the Sweet 16. I guess it started out as, and it became a March Madness for you and a good rush for business and a good way to get the name out there again. Because like you said before the show, that you never can have enough ears and eyes knowing that you're here. You're never like, we're Caps and we've been here forever. So
everybody, this is special. It's a special place. We want to keep it growing, and we want to be that spot that people come from out of town or out of state and they hear about it. It's everything.
Yeah, and it's gonna be more and more. Like we talked about before, we're gonna try to make this video go into different avenues and try to see if we can get other people involved in it, and let people know that, they can come in here and check the place out, leave a good Google review, ask about your dad, how he's doing. He's retired now, I guess.
They're retired. They're doing good. They're living their life.
Right.
Yeah, and they deserve, they put their time in. To have that kind of run to as long as they did.
Yeah.
they're relaxed now.
And for you and Jess to really take it upon yourselves to really get the legacy to another level is even more.
It's a big responsibility,
yeah.
and it's an honor.
Let's bring Jess in real quick, just to come on in, and we've been talking about you. We want you to come in and let people see a face with the name, and and helping to carry on the legacy.
Yeah,
how you doing?
Parents must be so proud of you. To see you guys working so hard and keeping the business going, and
that's how
keeping that relationship with the community.
They're believe me when I say they're retired, but they're involved. My mom,
Jess is like
she's in her ear all the time. She's in my ear too. But it's also about
not in a bad way, of course. Though they're just she always says, we're so proud of you, and for basically like taking over and everything you're doing. You're doing such a great job, because it is a lot. It's a lot. They're basically trying to, for myself, not for John, because I'm kind of newer into this, not the hospitality industry in per se, but to fill that role of like Colette, like my mother-in-law, and Pappy, like Big Cap. It is a lot, because it is a legacy, and they were here for so long, and then just trying to fill their shoes. But it's nice because she's always like, I'm so proud of you. You're doing such a great job. So
that's all that matters.
It was their baby, and they handed that over to you. It means a lot.
It's a good way to put that.
It means a lot to us, and like I said, there's a sense of responsibility to continue growing it, and to just keep doing what we're doing, what we've always done. And it's not by any means the blueprint was never broken.
No,
it was ideal.
Yeah,
and it always worked. So we're just keeping it moving. And we're just we put our the kids touch on it. I guess
you did.
But
Mom
and Dad put, they steamrolled it.
Yeah, they did.
No doubt.
They put the stamp on it, and they made it, and it's a legacy. He's
did.
leaving a legacy, and you guys are carrying on the legacy.
Right.
You never know what's going to happen next. So you have to just keep living in the now, living in the present, and and enjoying what you have. And that's why I think they're so proud of you. And that's unconditional love. That's a beautiful thing, that they love you unconditionally, no matter what happens in the future. You're taking this baby, and you're keeping it going, and keeping it, and then you pass it down, and who knows what'll happen next?
Then I hope it's your kids 37 years.
Yeah, exactly. Then your kids will do it.
Such good values down to your kids, because you're an example of what hard work brings about.
Exactly.
And then customer service of caring for other people and relating to other people, and having your loyal customers come back. They get to see that and witness that. And
absolutely.
That's something some kids just are not getting these days. So the family legacy, and you're building a stronger family that way, a good family that works together, bleeds together.
That's how we did it.
And they're up there working. Our youngest, he's 7, but I have him in the day sometimes, like during spring break, he's up here like working tables. Both of our girls are up here, doing phone. And they just they love it. They have fun pulling boxes.
It builds character.
It does.
It really does, and makes them feel valuable, like they have a skill, and you're giving confidence in them to do something.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So
and the social side of it, of interacting,
looking at people in the eyes. That's huge. That's huge.
That's how we were raised.
I know for me, I moved here in 86 as well. It was September of 86 when I moved here in Sebastian. So, so I knew, when I came down to Vero, I was like, where's a good pizza place? I'm in Philly, I got to find some pizza, and then we find this place over in Cumberland Farms. And so now all these years later, graduating high school here and having a podcast now and doing all these different things. And when I walk in here and
you see guys that come in
and I see their kids, it's crazy. I walk in and they're like, hey, John. I'm like, hey, what's up? Who's that? Oh, shoot, geez, who's that? Oh, your kid. Wow, look how tall he is. He makes you feel a little old, but at the same time, you feel like you're a part of the family tradition too. So I feel a part of it as well, even though it's you've been so long and seeing people that come in here. So it's really
special.
It is. When you come in here, it's special, and that's what we wanted to get across to people, is how special this place is, and the support that everybody gave. You guys are on the contest, and we'll shoot this out to everybody so they can see, and you can thank them for that. Now
thank everybody. Thank you.
Cap Pizza.
Everything.
Yeah, it really is. And the timing was perfect for this interview, which I think is great too, because it's the momentum is there, and we'll just carry on that momentum,
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for letting us come here and do this, and hopefully we'll let this video go viral.
Yeah.
Indian River Connections. Look forward to other interviews as well. We're going to do some other ones around town. Joann's got some people she's got lined up that we're gonna interview, but this is our maiden voyage. So any glitches, don't critique, but we're doing the best we can.
Critique me, not John. Joann.
But we appreciate you guys letting us do this, and thank you for supporting the TGI Now
we love
podcast.
TGI Now, you know that, brother.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you supporting our podcast and supporting To The Point and Binford Chronicles.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thanks for supporting us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing everybody together with food.
Right?
That's what it is. In the worst of times, even in the when the pandemic hit and whatnot, we still made it work.
Yeah, you did.
You never stopped. We never stopped.
Nope.
Thank God.
Yeah.
We never. The girls here that kept working. That was my biggest thing. Is that what are we gonna do?
You hear that?
Yeah. And we were fortunate, and they worked, and we were up. We stayed up.
We were,
A lot of pace.
I remember coming in here and picking up pizza, and I walked in, and the place was packed. There was people in here, and I'm like, I walk in, I'm like, wow, this is like going back in time. It's like before the pandemic,
Like you walked in and you were like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, thank God something's normal. Yeah.
We were so ready to get back to normal.
Yeah.
And when when we couldn't have people in, but the girls were on skates, in and out, like the cars were lined up with to-go orders.
Yeah.
It was wild.
I remember that.
It was wild.
Yeah, it was. That's
very
and again, that's community support, and that's the legacy that your dad laid the foundation for. So people are like, oh, well, we're going to support Caps. We don't want them to. We don't want them to go anywhere. Because a lot of businesses didn't make it.
Everybody knows this strip. If you're trying to give anybody directions, Caps Pizza. Because your Caps is big there. We're like, you know where Caps is. It's like a little landmark.
Give the address real quick and everything.
725 27th Avenue Southwest. 772-770-2277.
I would say CAPS.
770 CAPS.
Yep, 770 CAPS. Yep. Which another great marketing ploy by your dad.
That was mom.
That was mom. All right, mom. Good job, mom.
Right. That. Yeah. And then capspizzamenu.com.
Yep.
Online.
Yeah.
To order as well.
That's it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You're going to pub too? All right. Beautiful. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll look forward to some more interviews.
Right on.
All right. Thank
you.